And just like magic, we appear. Hello, good evening, one and all. A wild Alp has appeared indeed, yeah. That was, I wasn't quite ready, so I wanted to put a little screen up. And that was that was the first thing I could find, so I threw that up there. Hello, you early birds. How are you? How are you, my early birds? How is the weather? Hello again. How art thou? Ooh, ow. Ooh. Good evening. Good evening, David. Spiky Mikey. Good evening, Moon Genesis. Joe. I want to say Joe Cool, but it's Joe Cool. Where are you, Marcel? Where do you live, my friend? Where are those gusts? Niall, I hear you are a little bit unwell. I pass on my best wishes and speedy recovery. If it's anything of what is going around, then yeah, it's rough. Hey, your first time here. Nice one. Well, welcome. You've picked a good stream. You've picked a good live stream. Tonight is going to be a hectic one. It's a London Loop with Box Hill Climb with some of the best racers there are currently. And who knows what's going to happen. It's going to be very painful the first time, that's for sure. Well, it's going to be painful every time. But because everybody's going to be fresh, the first time is going to be yuck. Joyful, or should I call you Simon? Sometimes when you sign up to YouTube, I think it would just automatically assign a random username, potentially. You might be able to change it, I'm not so sure. 44 kilometers, I think the race is tonight, everybody. So it's quite a long one, you know. Oh, you're in Germany. Well, that explains it. I know a lot of the wind is coming from over there somewhere. It's going to be a brutal race tonight. It is going to be a brutal race. I better change that jersey, as you've quite rightly just pointed out. The hot favourite for tonight, Nyal. Just call him King. He's racing and he's live streaming. If you type in Zwift live stream into YouTube, you'll probably find him as well to see another perspective. Probably actually to see a perspective of much higher watts, quite frankly. Now then, garage. The good thing is, I've leveled up my bike a little bit, so that is good news. I've done a bit more indoor riding lately. So my drivetrain efficiency, in the virtual world at least, has been improved. But much is to be desired for my actual real world drivetrain efficiency. he's got a couple of, well, I was going to say he's got a couple of kilos on me, but he actually hasn't now, because I'm still carrying some biscuits from Christmas. Actually, pre-Christmas, I'm still carrying them. I've come to learn that the winter is a very difficult time, you know, to try and be well, lean, quite frankly. Well, now then, guys, those of you that are early birds to the stream, I can let you in on some exclusive. I had a connection reach out to me today from Zwift. Now, if you remember in the last stream, where I think I was talking about my bike, remember I was on my gravel bike? I changed bikes to try and, because I wasn't going to sprint, my gears would jump. By the way, I'm on that bike tonight and my gears will jump probably. But I figured that I'm going to be probably not doing much surging. It's going to be very sustained high power, so I won't be doing much sort of, you know, big surges, so to speak. So something might be happening. I don't know what. I just got reached out and said that I should fill in this form. And yeah, I don't know. I had to double check to make sure it was legit, and it would seem it is. So actually, I've just missed a crucial part of the story there. I'm terrible at telling stories. Charlie will tell you this. But a couple of people in the chat were talking about sending emails to Zwift to say, please sort Ed's creaky bike out because it's ruining his live streams. So that's the important bit I missed out. So, whoever sent the emails, I know there was one person, there might have been more. Thank you, because it might have actually, well, worked. So, and the good thing is that the message came through on Instagram, and I've been doing a lot on Instagram recently with just posting some POV shots of me suffering on this bike, and I've gained nearly 2,000 subscribers in the last 30 days on Instagram. Sorry, not subscribers, followers. So the good thing is that while they were reaching out to me on Instagram, they probably therefore saw those recent videos and thought, we didn't know he rode indoors. For those of you that don't know, I'm technically a very loose. There's no arrangement, but for a number of years now, I've had my Zwift subscription. I've had a yearly subscription, complimentary from Zwift, and I think this goes back to 2018. So even pre-lockdown and live streams, if you remember from Cardiff, when we were doing a lot of those. So it predates that, because when I was a pro, they were sort of given out at the time then. But then after a couple of emails around COVID time, I sort of wanted to firm up that partnership because of where things were going. I was really enjoying it. Well, still enjoy it, of course. The race starts. When does it race start? The race starts in 28 minutes. I'm on early. I wanted to get on early. Hope you don't mind. I also feel like sometimes these races are so short that it's good to start the stream off a little bit earlier so that there can be a bit of talking. It also warms the crowd up. I get to warm up because, to be honest, if I didn't hold myself accountable by getting on and live streaming early, I would very much like to wriggle my way out of it and just get on the bike at the very last minute. But yeah, I also think as well, based on what happened the other day, we were in the 400 live viewer territory, which was huge, and I would consider that huge, considering that usually those kind of numbers don't come unless I do a race like this, like a big race, big competition, or if I do an Alpe d'Huez Zwift effort. I don't really see that kind of number. So I thought it'd be good to start the stream early, and then people can gradually join, and then by the time we get to the race, we'll be at a higher number to start with, rather than starting the stream when the race starts or 10 minutes before, and people end up missing out. No, Box Hill times 3 doesn't sound short. Well, the effort's quite short, isn't it? It's all relative, I suppose. But what I mean is the race. I mean, the race, if it's less than an hour, that's generally when I would class it as a shortish race. Hey Nick, how you doing? I think genetically, if you look at photos when I was a teenager, I don't think you'd call me genetically lean. Or, yeah, endurance sport then, I suppose. But, and even the first, like 4 or 5 years of me racing professionally, I think that's, for anyone that finds sport, particularly endurance sport, at any point in their life, they're going to naturally lean down, you know, if they start to go all in on it. You know, I think the long-term training sort of stimulus is that, especially in endurance sport, you know, you do generally lean down. And I think, of course, you know, like now I consider myself to be still a couple of kilos, or within a couple of kilos of sort of race weight, but I still look lean. And that's where, you know, it can get complicated in this sport, because body dysmorphia is a real thing, and but possibly that becomes a thing in any endurance sport. But it's something I've learned to look at through a different lens over the last couple of years, because it's not the be all end all. When I was, you know, a couple of years ago, getting down to 59 kilos, when I was 25 years of age, I was also at a certain point in my career as well. At that point, you can argue there was lots of factors that led to that, and now it's my body is somewhat, you know, it changes every year, and sometimes you've got to learn to work with your body, you know, as you get older as well, how your body changes. And at the end of the day, we do exercise primarily to live a healthier, happier life, and potentially live longer. But not just live longer. I think the trick is to have more years where you're healthier, you know, because it's all very well and good, you know, living until you're 70, but then if you start having loads of health issues past that, not to say that exercise is going to negate those issues, but, you know, it's obviously good evidence to suggest that exercise can. So anyway, that's like a bit of a tangent, but yeah, I guess a lot more relaxed now. A lot more relaxed. I look like I'm 28, but that's only 3 years younger than I actually am. I'll still take it though. Hey, arrivee du peloton. Hope you well. Thank you. Yeah, no, I'm married. That's a really deep question, that, Steve. Outside of consistency and effort, has anything stayed the same the entire time? I would say my view on what has actually stayed the same but has actually become more complicated is how we train. Like, there's so many media outlets now, and you know, so many things you can read, and training has fundamentally stayed the exact same. It's been wrapped up in different pretty parcels over the last couple of years. But actually, if I step back and I look at it all, nothing's changed. You know, it might have become fancier, but deep down, the fundamentals, nothing's changed. The trouble is, that's not I would argue that's it's not a fancy answer really, is it? But saying that, cycling on the whole has changed massively. You know, even in the last 15 years since I've been in the sport, equipment, you know, the way we look at training has changed massively. It's almost like information overload. But the actual fundamentals, as I said, has not really changed. Do you know? No, strength training is real good. You can't deny the benefits that it brings. And, you know, I would argue that at this time of year, if you're really far away from your, you know, sort of your summer goals, you know, there's no harm in it impacting your cycling. Especially if you've never done it before. If you've exhausted all of the, you know, well, not exhausted, but if you're doing quite a lot on the bike already, if you're ticking a lot of boxes, I think you should still commit to it. Oh, Jonas Abrahamsson is a special person. I think not only, you know, the story of gaining the 20 kilos, but of course he's turned himself into a completely different rider. Although, you know, don't get me wrong, he'll still climb. But some of his training sessions, you know, I take my hat off. I'm starting to experiment a little bit in some of the stuff he's doing, because I think we should always try and experiment. And, you know, I don't think we're all necessarily in a place or a position where we can, but I like to think that, given my time in the sport, I'm in a good position where I can experiment and try some of the stuff the pros are doing and see what works and how it affects me and what I learn from it. It's really interesting. You should all go and follow him on Strava. Did I win money on the last Prestige race? Well, I think so. I think I won the Preem, didn't I? I think I won that Preem. Well, we've got 15 minutes to go until the race starts. Hello Louis, welcome to the channel. Thank you for subscribing. No, it was in Richmond, David. Wasn't in Innsbruck. Different race. Do you know what, Callum? My legs are stiff tonight. And they actually are. I did go for a 90-minute ride this morning. To loosen me up a bit. Plus I was just trying to get some more time in. I do usually use the sweat sensor indoors, yes. However, I forgot to put it on my heart rate strap. It's on my chest strap, as I rode this morning, of course, so it's not on my strap. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think it's gonna be much there's not gonna be much chat on the Discord tonight, a team chat. There's gonna be a lot of heavy breathing. Is it cold in the shed, David? It is 8 degrees. I've had the oil heater on for about 3 hours this afternoon. I turned it off about an hour and a half before I came down here because I didn't want it too warm. I made the mistake the other day of having it on while I was here, and it went from 4 degrees in 90 minutes. It went from 4 degrees to 16 degrees. That's obviously the combined heat of myself and the heater. So yeah. Yes indeed, boys. Yes indeed. Right deal. Right, I'm gonna nip out for a sec. I'm gonna be back. While I'm away, please just double check to see if you've hit the subscribe button or the like button. I'll be checking when I get back. Just joking. Give me a second. Well, it stopped raining at least. But there is like a 30-mile-an-hour headwind coming down the garden path. I barely made it back. Oh, hey, we made it across the line. No, the heater is 2K. 2K. Yeah, 2000 watts, 2 kilowatts. Is that right? Oh my word, my blinds are flapping all over the shop here. I need to I need to crank them in, otherwise they're just going to be blowing everywhere. There's a big old gust, like. There's a big old gust coming through. Ah, nice one, Will. Nice one. That's not me on the Tron. No, I thought not. Oh, Farm Water's joined. What is the chainring size I'm using? It's a 52 chainring on here. 52 tooth. Oh, hang on. My power meter's reading 2,500 watts. That's not normal. That's not good for the dual recording. How long have we got? We've still got time to change the battery. Wonder if it is the battery. Oh, what? Calibration failed. Oh, that's not good, is it? I'm going to get disqualified now. Let's try a different battery. We love a bit of mild panic before the start, though. Oh, hang on. Hang on a minute. There's a bit of water in there. There's a bit of water. I wonder if it's where I washed it the other day. And it's potentially not dried. Yeah. Although I was quite careful. You might be stuffed, yeah? Oh, it's reconnected. On the plus side, I mean, it is reading. So, you know, they'll just have to accept the do recording for 2,000 watts, won't they? I think I need to get the hairdryer on it. Blooming heck. Oh well. I don't think I'm going to be fixing that. Not right now, anyway. That's the trouble. I washed it. I mean, I rarely wash this turbo bike, but I thought I'd better add because it was getting a bit sweaty. And I washed it. I was very careful about washing it. And then I think I ended up putting the I've put it back in here. There you go. There's video evidence. I put it back in here, and then well, obviously, it's not very warm in here, so it wouldn't have evaporated either. Oh well. My other crank works. If I knew this was going to be an issue, I could have put my other crank on here. But classic Ed, I didn't think it would be an issue. But there we are. I'll have to change it for the next race. Not that we're going to be winning anyway, so he says. One minute to go. How are we doing? Is the stream still healthy and good? Hope so. I got one more addition. Gloves. There we go. Whoa. What, you don't think I can win, Ben? Shocking. No, it's 50%. This is actually really good for me because it's split to nobody's business up front. I'm only just going to get better and better. I'll be pulling them in on the third lap. Stay tuned for that. And we need some likes if we're going to do that. We need some watts, some likes. Because if there's no groups in front, apart from the front few, they're all going to be ones and twos. They're going to be struggling. Thank you 347. Oh Jesus, sticking around, thank you. It's not over till it's over. We know that. And it's all part of my training. Because I did say then about a month, maybe a couple of weeks, longer than a month, I want to be fighting with Niall and Ruben at the front there. I'm not going to be doing that today, but I didn't tell myself I was going to. Today. I believe that I can be competitive there, and I will be. Let's go. Let's go, chat. Let's throw those head modes in the chat. Flood the chat. I got a good feeling about this. The gloves are on. Don't forget, you lovely lot, Ed mode is the state of being. It doesn't mean I do 8 watts per kilo for 10 minutes. It just means I race my heart out. Ed mode is just, we're flicking the switch, the performance is coming. You can never fault the effort. "43 seconds to the rider behind it." That's the thing, you know, when the best riders in the world in the race, they decide to go massive on the first climb, it's game over. You split the whole race apart. You know, there's nowhere to hide. We're just lucky at the minute to be in quite a large group. This is what's known as the peloton now. Ideal situation here now is if this group splits again, and it's even smaller, because really the group is too big. You know, it's very easy to just, well, not really do anything, and the group will just get slower and slower. But if you have a smaller group, they're more likely to ride together. That's just natural. What's going on in the front? Give me race radio. Fucking dropped. Blimey. What, on the flat? That's a bit unnecessary, really, isn't it? Why are they racing so hard at the front? So who are the four? So there's four in front. Pucker's 8 seconds behind them on his own. Why is he pushing it so much? Why don't he just ride steady with the guys in the group? Why push so hard? Yeah, 3 teammates up front, but they don't have to ride like 6.5 watts per kilo, do they? They could just... They've done the damage, they don't need to do anything now. Just wait for the climb again. I'm just building myself a little catalogue on how to race now. So when I'm up there at the front with him, I know how to save my energy. Let's focus on the race we're in here, everyone. The race in this group. Can't change what's happening in front. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you, Phil. Thank you for the 5 gifted. Nice and swing. Oh, he's getting back in. Surprise, surprise. No problems for him. Keep riding then. Don't sit up. There's a split. Okay. Oh, my bottom bracket. Sorry, guys. If it's not one thing, it's something else. If it's not gears jumping, it's my bottom bracket. If it's not my power meter, I think I've been ganged up on yet. I have a sneaky suspicion I've been ganged up on. Because I couldn't get away with any of those moves. And now I'm stuck in a group I don't want to be in. Because nobody is going to ride. And they're going to get an advantage up the climb again. So it's pointless, like, so frustrating. I don't want to be closing the gap, I want to be making the gap. Very frustrating. And I've not got the strength to rely on to get myself out of it. Which is equally disappointing.
Ah! No! Help. Come through. Come through. Over the top. Go. Unbelievable. All it needed was one surge. I just couldn't close that gap. I just needed one little burst over the top, but oh well. That's it, that's how it goes. Ah! Ah, so disappointed. Wasn't my day today. I just did not some of those days, we've seen them on the live streams where I just can't, like, I can do loads of watts and it just doesn't feel like I'm putting any effort in. And today it was like the opposite. You get those days sometimes, but it's frustrating when it comes on a day when you're against the best, because nothing satisfies you then. Nothing satisfies you. That's just the way the mentality is. That's just the way it is. Thank you for the support. You know, I do appreciate it. Being there when I'm not on one is very, very appreciated. I'm not just watching when I'm winning all the time, because I haven't won in a long time. So I appreciate you sticking around. It's it's frustrating when you're the athlete, when you're the rider. I guess it's, yeah, as a viewer, like, I guess that's frustrating as well. I just want to be there at the front, you know. I just want to be there, but it's got to take patience. I got to have moments like this, you know. I got to have moments where I'm disappointed or I'm not satisfied. That's part of it. Got to take the successes when they come. They motivate you just as much as these moments do. And yeah, I just gotta be patient. I know I'll be back. Sorry, that's internal dialogue, but no, I know, you know, the guys at the front are incredibly strong, but I believe I'm on par with those guys on my day. I am on par with those guys, but I'm not as, like, what they do that all the time. And you know, as you very well know if you've been watching these streams for a long time or following me for a long time, I'm not that consistent. I'm not as consistent, and that's why it's a patience game with me. When you support me and you watch me, it's a patience game, because you know I can't do it all the time. You know my days, they come and they're rare, and you know, that's part of following. To be honest, you know, the people that I watch and the people that I follow, they do say that you gravitate to people who you kind of see yourself in. You know, and I believe that a lot. Like, I enjoy watching people. I watch other streamers, not in cycling, in other sort of esports and stuff like that, and I like the people who rarely win. I like the people who put the work in, you know, and they show up and they'll win here and there, but the process is like, you get to see them. When they do win, it's even more sweet. It's even sweeter, because you know that the times when you do win are very rare. And, you know, if there's any young people watching, that's one thing I would tell you with this sport. In cycling, you don't do it to win. You just don't, because, you know, you rarely are that person. And, you know, and I think you've got to be prepared to toe that line and toe it for a long time and be patient. And when you have your time, when you have your day, and you never know when that can come, and it could be one day, it could be, you know, you could be dominant for months, you could be dominant for years.
But you never know when that time comes, you know. And you also don't know if that time's behind you as well, which is also quite a deep thought. No, I don't think I need to adapt to the stand-in style to get to the next level. I don't think that's part of it at all, guys. It's effective when it needs to be, but I don't think... I look at the people who stand the whole time during races and are doing 70 RPM, 60 RPM. You guys know I can't do that. Because from where I come from, I've been running for 15 years. I've been racing outside, racing out on the road. I can't... That's not something I can do. I can't change it after riding my bike for 15 years and racing at that level. That's how I ride, you know, and this is how these guys ride. But you don't have to ride like they ride to be at their level. You ride the way you ride. That's not a rant, by the way. That's just my view, you know. That's just my view. Thank you, David. I appreciate it. Yeah, exactly. Obviously, riding outside, you can't ride at 60, 70 RPM the whole time. Unless you're obviously going uphill, you know, up Mont Ventoux or Alpe d'Huez or anything like that. You've also got to put into perspective with the types of races we're doing. So, like, Marcel, you do bring up a very good point, you know, and, you know, with these races, like this type of race today, it's a big... You know, it's a big VO2 max effort, these, you know, 5-minute climbs repeated 3 times. Obviously, there's more effort to do around the rest of the course. But you have that climb primarily. Getting all the power out, getting everything out, probably, you know, you will get more out yourself by standing on climbs like that. But long-time viewers will know that the races I really excel at are the really tough races, which can be short, but they're more often than not long, like over an hour and a half, and sometimes even longer than that. And you do have to sit down then when you start going over that length. And that's why, you know, those races suit me as well. Because of that endurance. Whew. All right, let's have a look at the graph. If you've enjoyed this live stream, everybody, please hit the like button. It supports the live streams. It supports the channel out a lot. Lets Zwift know. It lets myself know. Let everybody know. And let YouTube and the algorithm know that you've enjoyed it as well. So it's just a small thing you can do. I plug it a lot, but I plug it a lot because when I look at other live streamers, and again, not just in cycling, but elsewhere, they plug it a lot. And yeah, there's a reason why they've probably got so many subscribers. And there's also probably a reason why my YouTube channel, probably in the last so many years, I haven't made such a thing about like and subscribe that I probably should have. I probably should shout about it more. But there we are. Tell Zwift to send you their bike ASAP, lol. We will have to see about that. Well, another good race. Another strong effort. Yeah, I'm not best pleased with how the bike is sounding, and I'm not going to be able to service it until, well, at least next week, maybe even the week after, unfortunately. So we might be stuck with that noise for the time being, which is a little bit annoying. But yeah, no, needless to say, I appreciate you sticking around. and being part of the live stream. So thank you, everyone. And well, I was gonna say I'll see you this weekend, but that all depends if my bike is making terrible noises or not, because I don't really fancy doing a time trial with that noise. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Cheers, everybody, for the tough race. Those of you that finished around me. Made it interesting. It was gnarly. Felt like I was on the back foot all the time, but we made it. We finished. We got a top 10, and that's not so bad. All right, everyone. Take care. I will see